Welcome back to What Arty Noobs. This is an M53 M55, the Tier 9 American SPG. It's located on the west spawn of Airfield and it's under the command of TanqAndTonic. Now last time we saw him, he was playing in an FB3 805, but this time it's the Tier 9 American. So he's obviously up to Tier 9 on both of those tech trees. Game away. Okay, 2 marks of excellence on the barrel, which shows he's played the M53, M55 quite a lot. Now this is an Arty that was designed in the 1950s and was actually used in Vietnam, and it was also bought by Belgium, Turkey, Spain, West Germany and Taiwan. It's actually got a range of about 10.5 miles, and with the 8-inch howitzer will do 1050 alpha, and it will penetrate through 52mm of armour with a burst radius of 11.1 meters. So I'm just scrolling back again, resetting it. I think every time Wargaming makes a change, I have to adjust everything as usual. Okay, first target, an Object 430, Tier 9, fires around in, and wow! Now that was good actually, because he did a huge amount of damage to the 430, but he actually caught the E50 was behind him as well. So that was double bubble, and he got some stun assist off the E50 getting hit. Looks like his next target's going to be the Object 277. Now the standard reload for this Arty is 40.27, but you can drop that if you use a rammer, vents, a good crew, and also you would need to use premium consumables. And you can get the reload down to about 35 seconds, maybe even as low as 34. If you can get the innovative rammer and everything. Oh, double bubble here again. And he did, yes, he actually hit the 60 TP and the 277 with the same shot. He's maximising the amount of damage he can do with each shot, which is very careful and clever thinking, because if you aim for just one tank, you'll just get one set of damage. You might get, say, 300 or 500 hit points of damage off that single roll, but if you can actually land a shell between two tanks, you might get 400 from both of them, and that will maximise the damage. Rounds out the Jaegeru. Direct hit. No explosions, so we know we hit him. 34.09 seconds is the reload time that TanqAndTonic's got, and that's without using premium consumables. So I suspect he might be able to get it down as low as 32, maybe 31 seconds. And oh, somebody is sitting directly behind him. So you got two M53 M55s in the same spot. Now that can lead to disaster normally, because if you've got two tracers coming out from the same spot, it's much easier to see them. And then obviously the enemy can do a counter battery. Rounds out on the Waffenträger. Direct hit. Now Waffenträger's got very thin armor, so if he hit him, and he did, then that shell probably penetrated, in which case he might have done as much as 1,000 hit points of damage with one shot. T55A has gone into that little not ravine, it's more of a cubby hole, to hide there, and he's actually spotting anyone who went up onto the pocket, which is very inconvenient for the people on the pocket, because they can't shoot to the south, because if they try to, they'll get spotted straight away and hit. The Batchat's on the suicide run. He's just decided not to bother at all and just drove straight through there. In fact, he actually crashed and died, so he was way too careless. And this IS-3 too, rounds out. Ah, no, he didn't hit him, but it was close, I should think. Now, this is one of the techniques that you can do. Just move forward or move backwards to actually avoid getting hit by counter battery fire. If you do move forwards and backwards, they might get their aim wrong, and they might still hit you, but it would only be by mistake if you did. And of course you can move forwards and backwards whilst you're still in aim mode, whilst you're still using Battle Assistant. Fires around into the corner, it stuns the T55A. Now the advantage he gets there is as his teammates in the FB4005 was moving up, he might be able to get some stun assist off that. He couldn't actually hit the T55A directly, and the guy's poking out to take pot shots at the Heshbon. Okay, if he aims for that corner, I'm pretty sure that T55A is going to do it again. Looks good. Yes, it was good. Landed right next door to him and did some damage. I just looked up actually, the enemy team has 3 Waffenträgers. I wonder why I was seeing so many Waffenträgers on the battlefield. There's one up on the other side of that pocket, on the other side there. You can just see him. And of course there's one back at the enemy cap. We don't know where the third one is. No, it's going to be very difficult for him to get a shot in there. In fact, he's looking around for a target that he can fire at. Oh, no, an Object 430 popped up and is pulling back. He's tempted to go for the 430. The 430 is obviously taking pot shots at our T54. Okay, the Heshbon on the enemy team's coming to sight and he spotted it. Yep, good. As soon as I saw that come up, I thought, yep, that's a viable target. Very thin armour on the turret. It's only there to stop shell splinters if you can hit it. Oh, and he did! He did! Which means, again, possibly a penetrating shot on the Heshbon. And look, there's 3 tanks up there. A Jaegeru, the Heshbon, and the E50. So every time he fires a shell, it's more than likely going to splash the other 2 at the same time, or at least stun them. He's somebody's requesting fire on the E50, and he is a one-shot now for an Arty. So if he can land the shell on that target, he should suddenly appear. Oh, the FB4005 backs up, and the shell from TanqAndTonic took out the E50. So the Heshbon's gone, the E50's gone, the enemy is now down 3 tanks, but there's still a Jaegeru up there. And our T54 is just driven straight behind that Object 430, and he's now having a go at the Waffenträger. We're going to fire at the Object 430. Now the trouble here is sometimes you might hit the top of that mountain instead of actually hitting the target. You have to fire when you're coming back, and he did perfectly. He timed that one just right so the shell skipped over the top of the mountain and hit the 430 in the rear. We're now massively up on the enemy. 6 tanks up. They've only got 5 left. 2 Arty, 2 Waffenträgers, and a Jaegeru. And it looks like that Waffenträger's about to die. There's the enemy M53, M55 making a dash for it. And we're going to go for the Jaegeru, I think. Rounds out. This should hit the side of the vehicle. Actually, it hit the front. But it's 266 hit points off his heavy armour. We're now 5 tanks up on the enemy. There's only 4 of them left. They lost the Waffenträger in the south. We haven't seen the Waffenträger that was near the enemy cap, the one he blind hit. That hasn't appeared yet, so we don't know how many hit points they've got. But he hit. No, he has now. They found him. Going for the Jaegeru. Rounds out. Another hit on the side for 429. It all counts. The enemy Waffenträger's gone. It's just the Jaegeru and the M53, M55. And the M53, 55 was looking the wrong way, and a Bobjet just came straight up behind him and gave him an instant enema. Meanwhile, TanqAndTonic was getting ready to shoot, but the Jaegeru was killed by our Waffenträger before he could do so. And it's a victory. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. Well, here's the end of battle results, and it was an ace tank for TanqAndTonic in the M53, M55 on Airfield. He managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 14. He got a cause medal because he did more damage, exceeding 8 times the hit points of his own vehicle. I know it says 10 there, but in the wiki it says 8 for that medal. And on top of that, no other medals. But let's have a look at the damage and see where he stood in the table. Well, surprisingly, he did get the highest damage, but that wasn't 20% of the enemy hit pool, so he didn't make the high caliber. 5,067 hit points was the highest damage in the game by TanqAndTonic. He was choosing his targets correctly. He was sometimes hitting 2 tanks at the same time, and that way he maximized the amount of damage he could get done in the game. The second highest damage was actually done by the M53, M55 that was sitting directly behind him and firing over his head. 3,224 hit points went to him, and the third highest damage was the Heshbarn with 3,136. So big scorers of these guys. If you look at the number of kills though, it was actually shared between the Heshbarn, the Bobject, the M53, M55 that, I think that was the one that was sitting behind him, yes, and the Waffenträger and the E75. I'm afraid TanqAndTonic only got the 1 kill, but it doesn't really matter that he only got 1 kill because he did get the highest damage. And there was only one member of the enemy team managed to get more than 1 kill, and that was their IS-32. When it came to base XP, it was, yes, TanqAndTonic again with 1,227. The next high scorer was the E75 with 1,193. And after that, the M53, M55 managed 958. So a very good ace tanker. And I think I know why he got that ace tanker. Simply because he hit so many tanks that were then subsequently struck by his teammates. 12 shots fired, 7 direct hits, 1 penetration. Now, I think I can probably guess that the pen actually was the Waffenträger. Yes, he did 1,071 hit points to that guy, so he did pen him. He actually did pen him with that shot, and a huge roll on that, but it's a high roll, and he did get him. The Heshbarn, he didn't get a high roll on that one when he blind shot him. 438 off that one. But that was a very good shot, that one. Waffenträger's very thin armor. Always, if you can, go for the lightly armed tank destroyers. They do the most damage, and sometimes they'll devastate them. In fact, actually, them and light tanks, because light tanks don't have a lot of armor either. They strip the armor off so they can go fast, and so you can one-shot those. And I did that to myself yesterday on that very map from that very position. So, yes, little light tanks, they just go up like a firework. So let's have a look at the rest of the detail. He got 15 splash damage as well from 12 shots, 15 splash. So he was obviously hitting more than 1 tank at the same time. 5,067 hit points, all of it done at more than 300 meters. He damaged 8 of the enemy, killed 1, and did 1,993 hit points of stun assist of 15 stuns, and that's what gave him the ace because he earned so much extra in the way of XP. Plus, of course, the fact that he was a tier 9 SPG and he was firing at tier 10 opponents and doing extreme damage to them. He got 45,701 credits on a premium account, got 80,000 credits from personal mission payout, and after ammunition resupply took away a profit of 126,112 credits. A very good game. 1,227 XP times 4 for the first victory, took away 7,364 experience points altogether. So that was an incredibly good game, and I think the Airfield map is actually rather good for Arty, even though some of those rocks can get in the way sometimes. There are certain positions on that map which are very, very effective for doing extreme damage to the enemy and collecting very high scores for Arty. So I hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.